Okay, boys and girls, when you finish painting your 4 sections of your skin colors, you're going to start using these papers to cut out some different types of hands. Now, if you have not finished painting your 4 sections, grab your color mixing code to mix up some new skin color shades and finish your 4. Now, when they are dry, you're going to go to the shopping cart and you're going to be grabbing 4 different stencils of hands. If you look at this worksheet from the Supply Center, you will see that each of these hands spells a letter. This one spells L-O-V-E, and if you know what that word put together says, it says love. So we're going to be making something called a mural, and we're going to be using these hands to spell love with our different skin color shades that we mixed. So I'm going to start with just one hand and choose a color that I can trace this on. So taking my pencil, I'm just going to place my hand down and trace the sides as fast as I can, keeping my pencil straight up and down. And this is kind of a tricky shape, so go slow. Once you've traced the whole hand, you can cut it out. Using my scissors, again, I'm going to go slow and make sure I cut out along the lines. Please make sure you don't trace or cut this until it's totally dry, because if you have wet paint still, it's going to be really tricky to trace and cut without getting super messy. So again, I'm going really slow so I get the curves of the hand looking correct. If I go too fast and I cut off parts, it might not look like the letter that I want the hand to spell. Now I'm going to keep this paper because I still need to cut out a hand from this side. But once I've cut out all my hands, what I'm going to do next is look at my worksheet. Now, do you see how this L looks a little bit different from this one? This one has a few details on it that this one doesn't, like the nails and the little wrinkles on the hand. So I'm going to take my Sharpie and just spend a minute looking very carefully at what I see and copying. So I can start anywhere. Maybe I'll start with these lines here. The fingers are broken up by some lines. So I'm going to start with that. And you can see these are the knuckles of the hand. So I'm going to start to make those lines. And if you want to start with a pencil first, boys and girls, that might be easier for some of you, just to make sure you don't make any little mistakes, and if you do, you can erase. And I'm going to make the nails now, very slowly, looking with my eyes. This is called observational drawing, when I observe something very carefully and copy all the details I see. And I think that's good. There's a little line right here, a couple little wrinkles right here, and I think I've got the hand looking the way it looks on the picture. So now I'm going to do the same thing for my next hand. Grab my paper again, grab my next letter, which is the O, and this is the O, and trace that one. Now, once I've got all my hands cut out and I've drawn the little details, what I'm going to do next is work on my background. Since we are making a mural design, we're going to be gluing our hands onto this background. This kind of resembles a brick wall, and murals are usually painted on big walls outside. So we're making a mural design. So I want to spell L-O-V-E on my mural. So what I have to do first is grab my white paper, and I'm going to show you how to paint these little brick lines. You're going to grab from the paint counter a little sponge and a little cup of white paint. Now get a little bit of white paint on the tip of your sponge, and we're going to make this brick design. So start at the very top and just pull your sponge to make a little rectangle. Leave a space, pull your sponge, leave a space, pull your sponge. Now you might notice that my paint is running out a little bit. That's okay, because brick walls look kind of weathered like that. So it means the brick design does not look solid all the way through, and that's okay. So I'm going to keep going until I get to the end of the paper here, and then stop. Now when I make my next line of bricks, I'm not going to start right here. I'm going to start in the middle here, where that space was, and then keep going with my rectangles in the middle of the spaces each time. And then I'm going to finish off this space right there. Now, again, I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to keep doing this all the way down. And once I've done this all the way down, it should look something kind of like this. I've got all my bricks finished. So now I'm going to glue down my hands, L-O-V-E, like this. Once I have them all cut out and traced, I can use my glue bottle. Now this is kind of a big shape, but I don't want to put a big glob of glue in the middle. I want to glue down the edges very carefully. So I'm going to put some dots around all the edges to make sure it sticks down nice and flat on the edges. And no big globs of glue in the middle. Press it down. Okay, then I'll glue down my next 3 hands, and then we'll talk about some other pictures we're going to put in the background later.